I used to live with a lesbian couple um, years ago, but there was a fair amount of domestic violence that went on between them. And one of them had had been raised in a very abusive home where the father abused the mother. As I was made to understand it, that's the way things happened, and sort of kind of looked down on her mother as weak. Um, she kind of tended to be the aggressor. But what I noticed about the other member of the couple was that I think she came from some dysfunction too, because she had a great deal of anxiety about allowing her partner to walk out. And um, I think there are a lot of people that have that anxiety. Her mentality, once we finally got to it, like to the meat of it, was that she had such a fear of abandonment that she would rather be hit by her partner and keep the fighting going than let her partner walk out, because then her partner might never come back. Um, and so, you know, I notice this pattern in some abusive relationships that I've sort of been in a position to be a spectator of. It's how some people just don't get that sometimes you just need to go to your separate corners and cool off, you know. Um, I've never been hit in a relationship. I've never hit anyone in a relationship, but I've always seemed to have a sense of this, like, and and I've been the one who would step back and be like, whoa, you know what, this argument is getting to a level that we might not be able to come back from. Let's I'm not saying I'm wrong, I'm not saying you're wrong, I'm not saying we'll not talk about it again, but I think we need to cool off. So let's go to our separate corners and cool off. And um, then that posed its own problem, because there I would run into guys that would tend to feel very challenged by that, and would also see it as like I was trying to be superior, but I wasn't. I just knew sometimes when you have two strong-minded people, you need to take a breather. You know, you can't unsay certain things. You can't undo certain things. And so there seems to be this problem with some people calling a timeout and some people accepting a timeout. This sort of I don't know where I'm going with that, but you get what I'm saying. But so I think it's true in the narrative about domestic violence or intimate partner abuse or whatever you want to call it. We do tend to have this knee-jerk reaction to always assume that the guy is the abuser. But what about a gay couple, two men together? And the thing is, like, we who support marriage equality, I as a heterosexual woman, I'm all for marriage equality. In trying to make the case for marriage equality, we have to sort of put the best foot forward, because you don't want anything that's going to squash those chances. But I think as those of us who support it, and as marriage equality, we gain more and more marriage equality in this country, I think what we're going to see is that gay couples, lesbian couples, are just like any other couples, and they're going to have the same problems that other people are going to have. And in those cases, it's going to be very difficult to just take a very black and white look at it and say that this certain partner is always the heavy because they're both the same gender. I was very shocked at first at the domestic violence between these two females. Because, we're told, that men are not supposed to hit women. But we don't really, concerning domestic partner abuse, they don't really talk about those situations as it pertains to same-sex couples. And so, I kind of I didn't know what to think. But like I said, they're just like any other couples, and they're going to have the same problems any other couples are going to have. Same-sex partner relationships are not going to be any worse. They're not going to be any better, really, I don't think. And as we pick up marriage equality, I think that there are always going to be those who are going to try and use those less than perfect examples of same-sex partners to smear the whole institution altogether. But those of us who are trying to look at it objectively, I think it's going to open up a more honest dialogue, a more objective dialogue about domestic partner abuse or intimate partner abuse. And I'm not saying that women deserve to be hit by men. I do believe that it is the responsibility of the partner who knows that they are physically stronger to call the timeout and walk out when they need to walk out. But we need to send a message to the other person that, yeah, when they call a timeout and they try to walk out, you need to let them walk out. You need to let them cool off. And I'm not saying that anyone ever deserves to be hit. I know there are going to be people who are going to try and twist this around. But yeah, if you are physically stronger, the physically stronger of the two, or three if you're polyamorous or whatever, it's your responsibility to remove yourself from the situation. So, yeah. I just know there are going to be people who are going to take this and try and twist my words. Are you saying women deserve to be hit? No, I'm not saying. I'm saying nobody should be hitting anybody. And we need to respect each other's boundaries. And if someone needs a timeout, you need to give them a fucking timeout. Maybe they know of themselves that they have a bad temper, or that they have been in physical altercations before. Or maybe they know they've just had a little bit too much to drink and don't trust themselves with you in that moment in the midst of a heated argument. We need to send a message that it's okay to let somebody go. Let them go. Let them cool down. It's okay to do that. And if they don't come back, then maybe it's for the better. But where there is in situations where there is a lot of violence, that's not good for anyone. It's not good for your neighbors. It's not good for your children. It's not good for either one of you. You both need help. You both need it. And it's, I mean, there are times when you can tell when the woman is being battered. I mean, when she's always got something on her, and, you know, he's, you know, a big, tough guy, then that needs to be taken seriously. But it also needs to be taken seriously if her partner is not a guy but another woman, or if it's a gay couple and one of those people is being obviously battered and the other one is this another guy, you know. And I can see where that might lead to some problems, because someone might be like, well, if he can't fight back, he's just a pussy, you know, because they're both men, they need to fight it out, men. No, enough with the violence already, you know. Enough. It's never right. It's never right. It's not right when a woman hits a woman, a man hits a man, when a man hits a woman, or when a woman hits a man. It's not right. And if we really want the issue of domestic violence to be taken seriously, as women, as feminists, I haven't disassociated myself from the from showing respect to the feminists who came before me to fight for what I have. I'm not going to disassociate from them just because there's a lot of dysfunction within the movement. And as feminists, if we want the issue of domestic violence to be taken seriously, then we need to take it seriously when it's a different kind of couple violence. We're not doing ourselves any favors. Appealing to sort of one-size-fits-all victim identity takes the seriousness out of the conversation, in my opinion. And I don't think it's solution-oriented either, you know. So that's my opinion as it stands right now. It may change in the future. It may not. Please don't, I know I'm just probably saying this for no reason. If you're going to do this, you're going to do this. But please don't try and twist my words around and say that there's sometimes that, yes, the women deserve to be hit. The woman deserves to be hit. You know. I know there's a couple of trolls that will do that. Y'all don't count. But, serious players, people who seriously claim to care about this issue, if you come at me with that bullshit, I'm not going to hear you. I'm not going to take you seriously. Neither one of them deserves to be hit. Violence is always wrong. Okay? Always. That's my input. Good night.